Hi everyone, welcome back to Pickle Break. I'm here with Tats,
Hey, hi everybody.
my grandfather Tats, and he's going to tell us about his life.
Yes, like people were asking something about my background and so on. So I'm not going to tell you everything because I could get into doo-doo if I mention everything.
Yeah, you're a really rough guy, eh?
Oh yeah, so I'm going to just give you a summary of what it was like, going through my lifetime. My dad came from what's known as Yugoslavia. Today it's Croatia. He came here in 1933. He met my mom while working in Inco. She worked at the boarding house where he was staying. They were married in 35 and they were lucky to have a good-looking blonde kid in 1938, which is me.
Woo! 1938 was a good year.
It was a good year. So my dad kept working for Inco, and then he bought the hotel in Chelmsford, the Algoma Hotel.
So he bought a hotel on his own.
Yeah, he saved this money working at the mine, and he bought the hotel.
That's neat.
And we moved to Chelmsford. At that time, we were the only non-French speaking family in town.
Oh.
So I was 3 years old. So when I started school, at the age of 5, there was only one school, so it was a French school. Those were rough, let's say, 3 years.
Because you didn't speak French?
I didn't speak French, I didn't speak English.
Or English?
Yeah.
You spoke Croatian?
Yeah, Croatian and Ukrainian.
Wow.
So I go to class and I'd sit down and they'd talk to me in French. Didn't understand anything in English. So, right away I'm a dummy, and with a name like mine, well, the first 3 years were rough.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I'd get into fights, and my dad, the first time I got beat up, my dad says, I'm going to teach you how to fight. You have to fight back, even if you get hurt, because they're going to keep picking on you.
Right.
So by grade 4, I had my French buddies that would stand up for me.
Back you up.
Yeah. It was funny times, because in grade 8, we were 12 boys in grade 8, and only 3 of us went through high school, and I'm the only one that went to university. Because if you were big enough, after grade 8, you got a job at Inco.
Oh, at the mine?
At the mines.
Wow.
You'd start off working on surface and then going underground,
So education wasn't a big thing?
Well, no, you didn't need the education. In a way, it was a good time for us to grow up because the opportunities were there. Nowadays, you have kids going to colleges and universities and still can't get a job.
Yeah. So you ended up learning French and English.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I ended up learning French and English in elementary school. I went to entirely French high school.
Wow.
Collège Sacré-Cœur in Sudbury. Again, you see, because of your name, you're not the same as everybody else. The first year was rough, even if I could speak French. It was all right if there was no problems between two people. But as soon as there was arguments and there were hard feelings between myself and somebody else, they hit on the difference.
Yeah.
Isn't
that awful?
I'm a foreigner and so on.
Mm.
So anyway, I went through university. I graduated with a BA, and then I was planning to go to get my master's in business and then go into law school. But in those days, we didn't have OSAP, so you had to work, to get some experience. So I was hired by Dominion Stores right out of university, trained as a manager, store manager. And then in June of 1962, because I graduated in 1960, in June of 1962, my brother Tony called me up. He says, "Steve, you plan on working one more year before going to school?" He says, "There's all kinds of high school jobs in the
As a
province."
teacher?
As a teacher.
Wow.
So this was in June, and usually what happens is by March, everything is set up for the following year.
Right.
You know? So here's in June, I take a Toronto paper. There were 7 full pages of high school jobs.
Wow.
You know, that was in June. It was still open.
So they were begging for teachers.
Oh, just to show you, Tony said, "There's a salary grid, but don't go by that." You know,
Okay.
you could name your
In other words, they'll offer you something.
yeah,
But you can ask for more.
That's right. So I called this, seeing that I'm going to teach 1 year, I'm going to teach something that's easy for me. So I had 8 years of 1 hour a day Latin, you know,
In high school?
high school and
Or elementary?
university.
Oh, okay.
Not in elementary school.
Okay.
So here I'm going to teach grade 12 Latin, and I'm fluent in French, so I'll teach French.
There you go.
So I called this principal in Sioux Lookout. That's what they needed. You know? So he says, "Where are you calling from?" I says, "Chelmsford." He says, "Where's that?" I said, "Just outside of Sudbury." "Oh, when can I see you?" I says, "Well, it's up to you." You know? So he says, "What's a good hotel in Sudbury?" I gave him the information and so on. He says, "Could I see you on Saturday?" I said, "Okay."
Wow, he was eager.
Yeah. So here he took his car and drove 60 miles on a gravel road to the Trans-Canada Highway, then drove to the Lake Thunder Bay,
Oh my gosh.
took the plane to Sudbury
To meet with you.
to meet with me, to offer me a job.
Oh my goodness.
So here he says, after explaining things, asking questions, he says, "You got the job?" He says, "A first-year high school teacher with a BA in Toronto gets $4,600 a year.
Okay.
But we gave you $5,000
Oh, nice.
because we're further away, right?"
Yeah.
Oh, I says, "Oh, I'm not going there for $5,000. No. He says, "What do you want?" I says, "Give me $6,000. Pay my moving expenses. Find me a place to stay.
Oh my
And I'll
goodness.
pay the first month's rent." Sure. So here, I was
my
hired in
gosh.
June. I'm supposed to teach in September. They had 2 summer courses to replace Teachers College. So go on a summer course, and seeing that there were so many of us, I had 15 minutes of practice teaching before I started
Oh,
teaching.
that's definitely sufficient, eh? That's enough.
But they said, "Remember one thing, start off like a bull, you know, be very strict, because you could always ease down.
Okay.
Because if you start being ballsy-walsy with the students and so on, they'll eat you up, right?"
Right.
So then after I taught 1 year, I says, I like working with kids, you know.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay in teaching.
Yeah.